Hey, welcome to 8-Minute Webinar. We have another episode here with Downtown Music Holdings and my friend Lisa Helpman. We'll get right to it. Lisa, tell us a little bit about what you do at Downtown Music.
Sure. Lisa Helpman, Global Head of People at Downtown Music Holdings. I went to FSU and graduated with a degree in communications.
Can you tell us a little bit about Downtown?
So Downtown is a company that manages, develops, and nurtures companies to support a more equitable music ecosystem, basically. We believe that music is a universal language and that everybody should have a fair shot at making money from it if they are a creator.
Can you explain the difference between some of the companies within DMP, like Song Trust and just in Downtown Music in general?
Sure. So Downtown Music Holdings is the parent company. Downtown Music Publishing is a boutique publishing company that manages the catalogs of John Lennon and Cold War Kids and Gershwin, and some of the most beloved catalogs of music, John Prine. Songtrust was really created for the 99% of songwriters who either don't want a traditional publishing deal or don't have enough going on to get a traditional publishing deal. CD Baby is a distributor. They kind of act like a label, an indie label.
Where can candidates find early professional roles at DMP?
They can find them on our websites. So currently we don't have one place other than LinkedIn. They can go onto LinkedIn and find them all there. But currently we don't have one place for all of our opcos. So they can go on to each of the various operating companies. So Downtown Music, dmpgroup.com, songtrust.com, cdbaby.com. They can find all of our open roles there.
Can you tell us about the interview process?
Sure. So once an applicant applies to the role, our talent acquisition manager or our university partnerships coordinator will be looking at those resumes. They will seek out the ones that fit the job that we're looking for. For those that are great, we will reach out, we will have an interview. For those that will be moving on, the next step would be for them to meet with the hiring manager of that department. And then there may be potentially one other interview after that, but then we would make the offer and then they would start.
So is the first interview typically like a phone screen or a phone interview?
First interview is typically a phone interview, yep.
And then you'll bring them on site for a round of interviews?
Yep. During this time, a lot of the first interviews that we've had have been by Google Hangouts or Zoom, which is interesting because in the past they were all by telephone, but now we're starting to do them by video conference.
Got it. Cool. Typically, what's the first thing you look for on a resume?
Obviously, the first thing we're going to look for are skills that are aligned with the job that we're looking for. We're also looking for somebody that has a passion for what they're doing, passion for music, which we normally will find through the cover letter. But really, we're looking for, I like to see resumes that are very structured and clean, and that just give the information that we need, and that's it.
So no extra points if they design it nicely?
Well, it depends on the job, right? So if you're going for a marketing role, then I would expect that your resume is going to be really creative. If you're going for an engineering or a finance role, then I'm not looking for that. I'm just looking for the information on the resume.
And you'd mentioned cover letter. Do you read cover letters?
I do read cover letters. For me, the resume is informational and the cover letter is where somebody's personality will come out and their passion.
What about the objective that still exists on resumes?
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the objective because I feel that the objective is to get the job. but and your resume should give me that information so that you can get the job. I'm not a huge fan of them. I don't think that they're really relevant anymore.
Is GPA important?
No, no, because there are some people that just don't do well in school with books that are incredible and that we would love to be a part of the company. So I don't I don't even think you should put a GPA on your resume unless it's like 3.5 or more. But we're not the type of company that cares about GPAs.
What would you suggest for candidates to maybe put on their resume to help them stand out? And I imagine this will be different depending on the role.
They should look at the keywords that are in the job description and try to get those into their resume in some way. And they can have more than one resume so that they're tailoring it towards the job.
Do you have any examples of clever approaches people have taken to get in the door or to reach you outside of just submitting a resume?
If you're creative and you are passionate and you're showing me that you really want this job, I mean, I want to hire people that want to work at our company. So if you're sending me a resume and you have the skills that we need and you're passionate about what you do, then you have a good shot of getting at least an interview.
Awesome. What suggestions do you have in terms of preparation for an interview?
Yeah. So for us specifically, I mean, you should come in like you would a first day of work. We definitely wouldn't expect somebody to be in a suit because we're the music industry. We're a little bit more laid back, but you shouldn't be coming in shorts and tivas. And what I would suggest for any interview is just to do your homework, do your research, make sure that you know a lot about the company that you're interviewing with. Make sure that you know about the person that you're interviewing with. Make sure you know about the department that you'd be interviewing for, and have all of that knowledge so that you can ask really smart questions.
Can you give us an example of some red flags or these things candidates should not do during the interview or hiring process?
Yeah, so definitely applying to every single role that we have open is not going to do you any favors because we're looking for people that are excited about learning something specific. If you're applying to one or two that are kind of aligned with each other, we wouldn't think anything about that. Another red flag in the interview process is showing up and not knowing the company that you're interviewing for, which we've had, and not asking any questions. So if after the interview I say to you, do you have any questions for me? If you tell me that I've covered everything, then that'll show me that you're really not interested in the role because I purposely don't cover everything and you just can't.
What locations do you typically hire interns into or entry level into? And maybe you can help differentiate between the two.
Our internships are typically in New York in our HQ. We do have one usually in Los Angeles and one in Nashville. And I know that CD Baby in Portland usually has about two. But generally our big group of interns is in New York in our HQ.
Great.
Entry level are kind of all over. We're hiring in all different cities.
Lisa, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
very
for
much
having
appreciate. Yeah, you got it. Thanks again for giving us your time. I'm sure the students will very much appreciate it. Thanks again.
Okay.